Alright, so we're going to look at the next weekly adventure, the Shadow Portal. That's interesting. It has dutiful service. So I'm supposed to use Vayne here? Is that it? Is this just built for Vayne? Yeah, it's just built for Vayne. Huh. Okay, well, I think that answers that on what you should use, or what you could use. So, with Dutiful Service and Minimalist, Vayne would be a 2-cost. And yeah, you'd be good to go. We're going to try using Annie here regardless, and we're going to see how we do. Alright, so we have the first power, Crush, Over Prepared, or Hold Them Off. I'd probably go for Hold Them Off, to be honest with you, give us some more board control. But none of those are really great for Annie. We have the same exact starting node as the Starlight Portal, where we start off against a sparring student. Alright, we are going to replace the Captive Greyback. We'll keep the rest of our cards though. Alright, so we get 4 mana in total, thanks to my Annie being 2-starred. At least, I mean, she's 3-starred, but yeah. And we're going to drop down Annie here first, utilizing the Gale Force. We're going to drop down the Legion Saboteur.
No one's the wiser.
And we're also going to drop down the House Spider. And we'll end the round there. Okay, just like before, Annie's first, followed by alternate cards, should we want that. In this situation, we do. We are going to drop down the Legion Saboteur, followed by Guile. We're going to Guile one of them, it doesn't matter which. And we are going to attack with Annie. We're going to commit to this. Annie has Scout thanks to Gale Force. So we get 5 damage off for free, it seems. And we're gonna just go again. You know, they only have 1 unit that they can block with. So, yeah, we won either way. I mean, if I wanted to, I could use Disintegrate, but I didn't need to.
Did you like that, Tibbers? Wasn't it fun?
Alright, so all of these are bad. They're all higher than 4 cost, so I'm gonna have to cut them, or something to that effect if I can. And we're gonna go into the support champion. We could go for Sivir, we can go for Yasuo, we can go for Evelynn. Any of these are fine. I'm probably going to lean more towards Sivir, but yeah, that works. With Reputation, things are okay. If I went for Yasuo, I would never be able to use Yone, for instance. I can get away with using Evelynn, but I don't use her. I don't have her unlocked, so I wouldn't know how to utilize her the best. So we're just going to stick to Sivir. She works. She's easy. And we're going to go up against the Shadow Assassin here. They have Strategic Retreat. On the round start, they create a Shadow Assassin in hand if they don't already have one. And we're going to pick this to be able to go through the champion item chest. We're going to try to make the most out of the support champion that we have, alongside our Annie. And this is our starting hand. We're going to keep it. This is actually pretty good for us. Alright, we're going to start by dropping down Sivir.
Honor is the rust on a
So we just immediately get an 8-4 unit, basically. That's pretty cool, I have to say. Alright, and we are going to follow up with a Treasure Seeker. And we're also going to drop down the Legion Saboteur as well. But we'll see. I mean, I could use Death's Hand, but I don't think I'll need to. We're going to use Sivir to block the Blade. This brings her closer leveling up, so that's why I did that. It's not as bad as I would think. And, well, Legion Saboteur would give us 5 damage to work with. Alternatively, we can drop down the Sandstone Charger from Waking Sands, although it would be blocked. So maybe I'm leaning more towards the Legion Saboteur here.
Explosive prime.
And I have a bit of a plan. We can use Guile, and we'll just stun the Ribbon Dancer. So we don't have to worry about her blocking us. And we're just going to go for this attack here. It's going to hit for 15. So we're almost already done with this encounter. And we'll end the round there. We'll Guile once again, and we'll just, you know, not have to worry about the Scales of the Dragon, of course. And we can follow this up with the Death's Hand as well, if we wanted to. Doesn't really matter how we use it here. So we got Sivir level up off of that, which is nice. So now she's even stronger. And we got another unit, thanks to Summoning Beacon. So we got a Waste Walker. Now, we can't really use it until we get Inner Sanctum. So I'm not going to worry about it. And here, you might as well just attack. I could follow it up with Death's Hand. Doesn't matter. We have a lot of options here what we could have done.
You're all tied up.
So, either way, they lost. Nothing that they could have done about that, really.
Another victory to fill the coffers.
And there you go. We're not utilizing Demacian cards, which you could. We don't have Vayne unlocked since we didn't go for the Battle Pass. I mean, I guess you could have unlocked her by now if you didn't buy the Battle Pass as well. Honestly, here, Siphoning Strike's not that bad. It's going to be a 4 cost. But that will work for us. And we can go for the Champion Item Chest here. We are going to try to play as much as we can into Sivir. So her having Overwhelm here is probably really good for us. We don't necessarily need Philosopher's Stone, but Philosopher's Stone on Annie would be useful too. Yeah, we're going to go for Overwhelm on Sivir. And we're going to go into the Zephyr Sage. I don't have any other option, really. They have the same power as normal. Memories multiplied. On the round start, they create an exact fleeting copy of the least expensive unit in their hand. And it's specific to units, so they are not going to copy spells. While this is loading, I'm going to pour myself another drink. Drink. And you can hear Bubbles in the background cheering me on. Sorry about the loud bottle noises. Alright, so we are back, and this is our starting hand. We are going to replace Cat of the Arm because it is completely useless here, and we still have yet to cut it. Well, we're going to keep everything else, though. I think we'll be good. We don't start with the attack token, but we still get to drop down Sivir immediately.
I know what I'm worth.
Which is fantastic board control, honestly.
Make it worth
I don't know why they're sacrificing their unit like this. That just gives Sivir more... it just brings her closer to leveling up. Okay. We'll drop down the Legion Saboteur here.
You'll thank me later.
And we're going to follow it up with Death's Hand. And we're going to take out the Inspiring Mentor, and that's also going to deal some more damage. And this, doing that, gave us the Vagabond, and that gave us Warlord's Palace, which is nice for us as well. We'll be attacking with all of our units here. And we honestly almost end. Off of our first attack turn.
I go where the trouble is.
Sivir does level up,
Never too far.
which is beautiful.
Bring me tea to gain
Okay.
strength of rivers.
Now we're going to use Siphoning Strike. We're going to have Sivir take out the Inspiring Mentor. And that's going to give everyone everywhere, or sorry, all the champions everywhere, which is Sivir and Annie, 2 health and 2 power.
Nothing.
And lucky for us, that gave her just enough to be able to block this round. So there we have it. She has Spell Shield, so unless I have 2 spells in hand that are going to deal damage, or something to that effect, we'll win here just by attacking right now. Yep, there it is. I figured they'd be discouraged since she does have Spell Shield, and it seems like they were. Yeah, I can't complain. Okay, so we got done with Order and Chaos, which gives us more, points towards our Battle Pass. We've been playing pretty inconsistently, so we don't have our Battle Pass completely maxed out, I don't think. Anyways, on to the battle rewards. So, we're stuck at 4 mana. No matter what we do here, these are all okay. So, I'm just going to go for the Arena Kingpin. Gives me another unit to play around with. It'll be a 7-3, so that doesn't sound too bad. We have the choice between the Monastery of Harana or the shop. We are going to go for the shop because it's going to have more options for us, and we don't need to recall any more units. Which is what the Monastery would give us, I'm pretty sure. So, most of these are pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah, the only one I'd be able to actually utilize out of this is the Mana Soul Student. So we're going to look to buy a power. Enfeebling Strike's fine. I'm okay with that. I think it's a little underrated. But, yeah. And up next we have the Healing Node. We are going to cut Kato the Arm. It is too much of a cost, and as you can see, all of our other cards are under the cost that, under the cost we can play them, we can use them. That's what we need. Kato just got in the way, unfortunately. And up next we have Ezreal. This is actually going to be pretty difficult, I think. But we'll see. We don't have Spell Shield on Annie, but we do have Scout, so she'll be able to go back into our hands. We are going to replace the Inner Sanctum and Disintegrate. Hopefully I can pull Sivir, but we'll see. We do start with the attack token. Oh, I did get to pull Sivir. Cool. Having 2 copies of her is really good for us too. We could open up with Annie, but yeah, we'll see. I guess it's okay if we open up with Annie. I know Static Shock was happening. Okay, and they have Gotcha too. Well, they used all of their mana, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. We'll drop down both of our Legion Saboteurs, and there shouldn't be anything that they're going to be able to do. And we're going to just attack here. We'll attack for 10, which is pretty nice. And we'll end the round there. They can drop down their Ezreal this round, but they didn't. So I'm kind of happy about that. And we're going to use Guile here. We were actually able to get spell mana, but we're stuck with 4 mana in total. So they kind of stop us from being able to block, but we stop them from being able to attack. So I guess that's fair. We'll just drop down Sivir right now. That way we don't have to drop anything down next turn, and we'll end the round there. Alright, we're gonna just immediately attack with her as well. For 8 damage, of course. They do use Static Shock, but she does have Spell Shield, so I'm not too worried. Okay, they dropped down Ezreal.
Close my
We
eyes.
are going to use Siphoning Strike here, and we're going to take him out real quick. Awesome. And now all of our champions are going to get extra stats off that, of course. And we'll end the round there. Siphoning Strike also had additional items on it,
I really
so I kind of want Sivir to die, unfortunately. But the reason why I want it is because the Sivir that would be in hand would have a lot of stats from the Titan sensor, I think it was, that I had on Siphoning Strike. We'll drop down Hell Spider as tough, and it gives me another unit to block with. Okay, and we're going to use Guile here, this time on Ezreal. We're going to follow it up with a Mana Soul Student.
There's magic. There's me.
They have a lot going on here. Oh. That's not good for us. Now they get True Shot Barrage every turn. And they get to slap our Nexus every time they have a spell. We're going to use Disintegrate on their Assembly Bot.
Fell embers.
And make the most out of my Mana Soul Student while it's still alive.
Sure.
As you can see, Sivir does have Overwhelm. So once we attack, I think we'll be good. Just a matter of getting to that. Yeah. We're going to opt to attack here. They decided not to block, so that's going to be the end of that encounter.
Or gold. I always get my share.
And since it was the mini-boss, we should get our Nexus health back. But we'll see.
They got what they pay for.
Awesome. Alright, so... Spirit Stone's kind of silly on Annie. I can go for Shadow Totem on her, though. I think that would be fun, since she does get scaled. I wonder if Guardian's Orb would work with Shadow Totem. Or I can go for Shadow Totem on Sivir and just immediately, you know, out the gates, have 16 power going at them. I'm curious to see how it interacts with Guardian's Orb. See if it actually does it all. But at the same time, I know it's going to be better on Sivir. So I think we're going to have to stick with that. And we have the power here to pick from. We are going to go for Counterfeit Productions again. Alternatively, we can go for a Sparring Student. It's kind of whatever. Yeah, we'll go for Counterfeit Productions. And we are either going to go up against Zenaya or the Riptide Rex. Honestly, I think the Riptide Rex is easier. I think that's what we're going to go for. I was going to go for Zenaya for a second, but I'm like, well, we can't really spam units since we only have 4 mana. We don't have all that much cost reduction going on either. So, it might not work out too well for us. We're going to keep this hand. I think it's okay. And we don't get the attack token.
Where do you stand on
Alright. They have 1 mana still to use. So we'll just drop down the Treasure Seeker, play it slow. And we're going to use Counterfeit Copies. We're going to use on Death Sand. Well, they drop down their spell. We're now going to follow this up with the Legion Saboteur.
Explosives primed. Watch this.
I've seen that coming, that's fine. That doesn't bother me that much. And we are going to pass. We're going to keep our 2 spell mana. We lose our Legion Saboteur though. We are going to drop down Sivir here, but before we do, we're going to use Counterfeit Copies on her. And now we're gonna do it for real this time. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can use Sandstone Charger here. And we have quite a bit of damage on the field this round. They only have 2 units to block with, and we're pretty close to leveling up Sivir, which is also very nice. We'll end the round there. Unfortunately for us, the Spell Shield doesn't block the damage that we may take from Raining Fire. But we can use Siphoning Strike here, and we'll use it to take out one of their units. This is going to give her 2 health, and that's also going to level her up because it's considered a strike. We'll drop down Inner Sanctum as well. We'll use counterfeit copies, and we are going to copy Death's Hand once again. Okay, they don't go for the attack here, which is fine with us. I don't mind. We're going to use Lucky Find immediately on Sivir. We are going to give her Challenger, I suppose. Tough would also be another okay option from that. And this one, we're just going to give her more power. We're going to use counterfeit copies here. This time, we are going to use it on Legion Saboteur. We are going to follow that up by dropping down Death's Hand. And this is going to force them to play a unit, or it should. They decide to salvage, so they only have 3 mana to work with now. Then we get an extra unit. Okay. We'll drop down the Legion Saboteur, and that's going to give us more Nexus damage to deal. And we are now going to attack with all of our units here. We're not going to utilize... maybe we could. Yeah, we'll utilize the Challenger here. This way, Sivir is guaranteed to take out their Nexus. And what's left of it. It didn't matter how we used the Challenger, or if we did actually. I think it would have been the same difference either way, since I only had 1 health. Alright, we're going to go for Summoner's Stone on Siphoning Strike. I actually like that a lot. I think that's kind of cool. And we also have an item chest here. Death's Hand with Yordle Portal is good. Black Cleaver on the Arena Kingpin's crazy, though. It's going to be a 14-6. Yeah, I like that. And now we have a shop to go through. Mostly junk. Spellslinger's an option, though. Spellslinger with the Targon Sprays. We can go for the Backeye Reaper with Radiant Plate Armor. It's going to be at 3 cost, though. We're going to check out the powers. Sorcery is good. We can go for Sorcery. We get some spells for free, pretty much. And we'll go for Targon's Brace on the Spellslinger, too. We only need 1 copy of it, though, to get the item. We either have a shop or we have the Spells Chest. I think at this point the Spells Chest would be worth it. Hopefully I can get Siphoning Strikes or something like that. So we're going to go up against the Petty Officer here. They have their normal power, all hands on deck. Round start, they crit and knock them down in my hand and their hand. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is the weekly adventure. Right now we're doing the Shadow Portal, so we're stuck at 4 mana since we do have a 2-star, at least a 2-star champion that we're working with. Start things off, we are going to replace Captive Greyback and Disintegrate. And we're going to keep the Treasure Seeker and Death's Hand. We're going to wait to play Sivir for our attack turn. And we're going to open up by using counterfeit copies on the Arena Kingpin that we have. And we're going to drop down one of our Arena Kingpins to start things off. As you can see, they're 14 and 6. Very broken. And we are going to use Knock them down. We're going to take out their unit with that. And we can also utilize Death's Hand if they try to retaliate with their Knock them down. Okay, they decided not to. We're still going to utilize Death's Hand here, to be honest with you. And this gives us another unit to play around with, since it does have Summoning Beacon. Well, and they're on there, and they can't use their Knock 'em down anymore, because they're out of mana. Alright, we're going to drop down Sivir here. This is going to be really good for us. We are going to use Carnage for copies. We could copy Knock 'em down, but it doesn't really matter. As you can see, they have no mana left, so we're able to control the board however we like. We're going to use Knock 'em down on their 3-1 Petty Officer. The reason being, it has more power. And we're going to use Guile on the Protoporo, and we have enough damage to finish this, or we should rather. Yep. Awesome. And we also get the Sivir level up too.
I always get my share.
And there we go.
Another victory to fill the coffers.
Okay. We're going to go for the Phage on the Arena Kingpin. I'm not even going to consider the other two options for the time being. I want to talk about this for a second. So, it's going to be a 9-5 before it gets doubled. It's going to be an 18-10 as a 3-cost unit. In a place where I can only have up to 4 mana. That's pretty good. And we're going to go for Entreat here. It has Oracle Lens and it lets me draw a champion. It's not what I was looking for from the spells chest, but that's okay. And in terms of cutting cards here, honestly, I think we're fine. We're fine to keep the cards that we have. There's nothing to heal. And we're going to go up against Katarina here. They have Inspiring Presence. When they play a champion, their other units are granted 2 power and 2 health. So they're going to spam Katarina. Their other units are going to get strong. So we want to make sure they don't have any other units. And we want to try to make sure they don't have Katarina either. But we'll see how that goes. It's often hard to get rid of Katarina. Alright, this is our starting hand. This is what we're opening with. We are going to keep the Disintegrates. We're not going to keep the Captive Greyback. I haven't used Captive Greyback, so maybe that could have been a card that we cut. Alright, so to open things up, we can either drop down Sivir, which is going to open up 16 damage, thanks to Shadow Totem. Alternatively, we can drop down the Kingpin, which would give us even more. So we're going to use counterfeit copies first on the Arena Kingpin. We're going to drop down the Kingpin. They messed up by playing a unit, how dare they? We're going to use Siphoning Strike. Our Siphoning Strikes here has Summoner's Stone. So we get a 4-cost champion out of this. We could also get Sivir. We'll see. We got Jinx. We're basically never going to be able to level up Jinx. I mean, we might be able to. I shouldn't say that, but I think we're going to end too fast. We go for the attack on both of them. We already got rid of their Katarina. They're probably not too happy about that, but hey, it's AI, so. Alright, they dropped down a Legion Saboteur. We're going to use Guile on it. I was like, oh, I'm going to drop down Sivir. Realizes that she has Shadow Totem. Never mind. We could use Spellslinger here. I was actually going to use it to take out their Legion Saboteur, but to stun Katarina would be even better. That way, she never levels up. And she's stuck on the field.
Venom sure does. Get him.
They're not able to do anything on their attack turn. They don't have any mana left or spell mana. We'll drop down 2 of the Legion Saboteurs before we end. And we will end the round now. Unfortunately for us, I kind of outplayed myself, and I don't get to utilize this copy of Shadow Totem from Sivir. So instead, we are going to use Siphoning Strike to take out Katarina. That's going to give us another 4-cost champion, which also increases the power of it, which is phenomenal. I absolutely love that. And we're going to just attack with everyone. And, yeah, that's going to be it.
Moving into sight.
Should be it. Okay, well, we lose the Spell Slinger, and our Arena Kingpin gets blocked, but it's not enough. Alright, and that's the Shadow Portal for you. It was kind of difficult, I have to say. You have to plan effectively and think about your rewards and the cards that you do have in your starting deck and what you want to cut, what you want to keep. There's a lot of strategy within it. Overall, I say it was doable. I didn't have any difficulties. I had a lot of fun with it, actually. Especially towards the end, getting all those items on the Arena Kingpin and utilizing him. Sivir helped out a ton, too. She was able to help us out in the early stages.